Hey, what's up, guys? This is Grant Rembert. I'm the owner of Athletes Lab, and I'm here with Aaron Rembert, COO of Athletes Lab Performance Center, Cam Beard, head of teams. What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
Grant, what's up?
Good. Hey, this is something new that we're rolling out. We're excited about. We've talked about this for a while, but obviously with COVID-19 and under our current circumstances here, everything has gone virtual. It's gone online. We've had to make a lot of adjustments, here in the short term to make sure we continue to bring high quality and value to our guys that are stuck at home and outside our organization as well. Also our members and beyond. So we've had to make a lot of adjustments, and in this podcast is getting this started. The first one here, first edition, is something that's come on a little quicker than what we anticipated, but we're looking forward to it, and there's going to be a lot of really good things in store, with the podcast. Moving forward, we're going to have a lot of things, like I said, on the docket. We want to bring in perspectives from different coaches. We're going to have recruiting guys on here. We're going to have college guys. We want to do strength conditioning. We want to bring in people outside the organization. And again, that's why this is going to be called Outside the Lab. But right now, these first few, we're going to start inside the lab with this first one, and then introducing our coaches down the line, and then get down to Ryan Gatt and Audra Harrison. So you guys want to speak a little bit about what's going to be on the horizon?
Yeah, I think it just gives everybody a perspective a little bit. There's more that goes into it than just, doing lessons or showcase ball or whatever it is, that we're actually, working towards something. And, there's people out there that gives another voice just so it may hit home in a different way for other people, so we can get the most out of our guys and get them to the highest level where they're capable of playing.
Yeah, I agree too. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said this is something that we may not have otherwise had a chance to do at least this early. I know we had said the other day talking. It seems like this thing has sped us up by maybe 6 months or more, and that's a good thing. We're able to bring opportunities to folks that may not have been able to happen without this and until next year or who knows how long. So. And like Aaron said, just a way for guys to kind of get a holistic approach. I mean, we're going to see guys talking about recruiting, guys talking about mental game, strength conditioning, nutrition, all types of things that, in the middle of a typical season right now, you may not have time to talk about and think about. So certainly some good things coming.
Let's talk about a little bit the adjustments we've had to make here in the last 2 weeks. Really, really quick on the fly, and we've been on conference calls almost every day, with the staff and the organization, obviously us three, and then Ryan and Audra and whoever else we need to bring on. But we've been in constant communication. Let's talk a little bit about the adjustments. I mean, you're looking at going straight into virtual online workouts. We started, with the guys in the organization for that. Ryan's done a fantastic job. Then we open it up with Audra to female virtual workouts. That's for females of all ages, all sports. She's done a very, very good job with that. And then now we're rolling out virtual online workouts for dads. That's coming out today. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we've talked about what we're going to be rolling out here in the short term.
Yeah, before we get to too much of what's coming, I think one of the things that it has forced us to do is really branch out with technology. I know we've talked about the big four being our website, our Facebook account, Twitter, and Instagram, and maybe add a fifth one now with the YouTube channel and what's coming here with the podcast. But really, it expanded our reach and our what we're trying to do on social media, and all in an effort to connect people, and that's what it's all about. So, if folks out there listening, make sure that you're staying up to date and staying with us, because we're really trying to push some good things out on social media.
Well, and there's also a lot of things, Cam. That's a really good point. There's a lot of things out there, not only from our perspective or from the Athletes Lab, but we see all this other stuff on social media the goods, bads, uglies, all that kind of stuff. It gives a chance, just like it does when you're working with somebody. Not everything works for that one person. So you got to take the good that you can get from some of this stuff, and really narrow it down, because you can't take in everything or try to do everything, or you're just everywhere. So this gives our guys a chance to really focus in, with the relationships that we've had in the past with them, and really help them know what they need to do, to get better in the short term and the long term, both physically and mentally.
You guys are spot on there. I mean, we're in a day and age, and especially with COVID-19 and everybody being shut down, a lot of our guys are really having information overload. I mean, you can go on, Google and Google anything. But what do you know? I mean, how do you know, works for you? If it fits, where you are in your career, if it fits, being sports specific, age, different things along those lines. So that really is the value of the information that we're bringing to the table. We know these guys, and we've had a lot of experience working with this age group for many years, and then now with Ryan and Audra coming in and bringing a ton of value on the strength and condition side, we can really get a lot of that noise out of there and get it more focused and honed in and customized really to what they're looking for and what they need during this time. So, it is a fluid situation. And honestly, we've talked about this a lot. We really don't know how long we're going to be shut down. That's something to think about. And, guys are used to getting up every single day, okay, going to school, moving around, practicing, coming to the lab, basically being very active. And now they're forced to do this on their own. That's a lot to put on a young kid. It really is. So, we're going to continue to bring out and put out valuable information just to give everybody a sense of direction, on what they need to be doing from many different perspectives.
That's right. It seems like everybody's an expert these days, like you said, on Google and the internet, and you can find literally any perspective on any topic you want. So being able to be a source where people can go, particularly people within the inside the organization, can come and know that we've sifted through this stuff. We know what works. Things like you said, either the short term that you can do today, be it a workout or a drill, or things that challenge you to think in a different way and challenge you to grow. Certainly a great time to do those things as well.
Yeah, so our goal, from the very beginning has always been trying to meet the needs, customized for our players and the coaches. So that really is the main focal point. It's just our platform has changed a little bit, and we're going to continue to do that at a high level. So Aaron, let's start. Let's roll in and let's start talking about some of the things that we're going to be doing here in the near term. We've hit on a little bit with the YouTube, all the social media platforms, the website, the online, but we're going to continue to take this a step further and have a presence online. So what are some of the other things we're going to be rolling out here?
Yeah, I just think some of the different workouts that we're going to do, it gives guys an opportunity to really good, see, you have to have that, that inner drive and all that kind of stuff. And what I refer back to what you guys were saying is, we got this downtime for a little bit here. But it goes back to the college coaches always think, man, the worst time for a college coach is during that December break when you've been working out all fall and you got up to your game ready, and then all of a sudden you have to turn your guys loose for a month to let them go back home and do their stuff on their own for a whole month of December and part of January to get ready for the college season. And that makes or break guys. And that's what I relate this to. It's just a little setback, but hey, do you still have that inner desire to go out and compete every day to get better? So when you do get back, are you going to be right there ready to go, or is it going to take a while for you to get back? So I think it just all comes about to that type of thing. and the stuff that we're going to roll out with mental training, with the mental training coach, and all these little workouts, it prepares you. It gives you a routine, and I think that's really big going into the summer season.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Cam, guys have got to put in the work, right? They have to be accountable. They have to be responsible. We can provide this platform, the resources that are going on, but it is different because you're not in the cage with them. I'm not in the cage with them. Aaron's not in the bullpen with them. We're not hitting them ground balls, so it's really a lot to put on a young player to try to train at the same intensity level and focus as they would if they're in the facility. Let's talk about that a little bit. As far as nobody really knows what you're doing right now, but we will in about a month or two, right?
No, that's right. You hear the saying, I hear a lot with football is August is going to be very telling in what you did between December and July. And, it's kind of the same thing here. Whenever we do get back on the field, it's going to be very obvious guys who have taken it as a break and kind of cruised through this time, and guys who have really continued to get after it. And I think you're right. You talk about things that we push out, and certainly we've tried to send out workouts and drills and things that guys can be doing. But ultimately, you are who determines your own success, and it's kind of up to you. So there's things that we're trying to do. There's ways we're trying to hold guys accountable. There's drills, there's workouts, there's things that we're pushing out. But ultimately, it's on the player to find a way, and it doesn't take an inordinate amount of time a day. It doesn't take all these crazy training drills and the next best thing. I mean, sometimes it's as simple as a brick wall and a tennis ball if you're an infielder, or dry swings as a hitter, whatever it is. There's ways to get better, and those ways are definitely going to show up when it's time to go. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's good stuff that right there, and leads in really right into our summer and talking about our teams a little bit. I mean, you're the coach of the 16U team. You and Aaron 15U, Coach Wyndham 14U. Aaron's got the 13U showcase team. We have the 13U, other 13U team as well, talented group of kids. And then, of course, we have our younger teams, 8U through 12U. But there really is an opportunity here for an exciting summer. We've grown tremendously over this past year. And the type of players and people that we have in the organization is what it's all about. We have a ton of quality coaches, and we have a ton of quality players. So just hit on a little bit about your 16U team and what you guys plan on doing, going into the summer and how we're going to approach that.
Well, I tell you, I think one of the cool things is had this gone the way everybody thought it would have prior to the pandemic, we would have finished up the high school season, and guys, some would have gone to the playoffs, some wouldn't. But then in a matter of about 2 weeks, we would have been right into our first tournament down in the Charlotte Rock Hill area. And obviously that's what we were planning on. And we were going 6 weeks from there, finishing up in Cobb County with the WWBA. But I think one of the cool things, and I think looking back here in hindsight in a few months, I think guys are going to be thankful that we are going to have some extra time to train. We're not necessarily rushing into a showcase schedule, because whenever all this gets lifted, it's not like we're going to play a tournament the next week. I mean, you think about big leaguers, they're not just going to, all of a sudden have opening day. These guys are going back to spring training. They're going to continue to train at a high level. And I think we're going to mimic that. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. Inter squads, practices, working out at the facility, holistically with talks about nutrition, with strength training, obviously our daily work. We're going to have to take some time to do that. And I think, like I said, looking back, guys are going to see the value in that, of training at a high level to prepare and to be ready to be at their best whenever we do get going. Obviously, our schedule will change. I don't know what it will look like, but I do know that whenever it's time to go, our guys will be ready, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you bring up some great points there, and Aaron, you know this as well and can speak to it. You know, we have a lot of pro guys that come in and train in our facility. And were training our facility before, you know, we had to close down a couple of weeks ago for the short time. But listen to those guys and stay in touch with them through text message and over the phone. They're basically saying the same thing. You know, they're not going to go right into Florida or Arizona or into a big league schedule. They're going to be basically having another spring training for about 3 weeks. So just, you know, for you guys out there listening, know that we are making preparations to make sure that, you know, our guys are going to be ready to go out there and compete at a high level whenever we do go into tournament play. But, you know, as soon as it's lifted, we're not going to go right into tournament play. I mean, we have to think about, you know, how well in shape their arm is, pitch counts, you know, hitters getting their eye back on the ball, you know, the speed of the game. You know, from a defensive standpoint as well, just not from an offensive standpoint. So we're going to be working hard to make sure they're prepared going into the summer.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a huge part of it. And, you know, if you could go and do stuff on your own and do all this, you know, these guys in the big leagues, why did they have spring training? I mean, those guys have the best coaches, individual coaches, the best hitting coaches, the best pitching guys, the best strength conditioning guys, nutrition guys around. But yeah, they still go into a spring training atmosphere for a month and a half to get ready. I was texting one of my former guys that are in pro ball right now. And I said, "Hey man, what you doing right now?" And he said, "Whatever I can." You know, he's quarantined like the rest of us, and he's at home. And he's saying, "Hey man, you know, I just doing what I can until I can get ready to go back out to Arizona." And you know, that's so you're not the only person in this situation, and that's what a lot of people don't realize is, oh, it's poor me, poor this. No, everybody's going through it, you know. But what are you doing during this downtime to get yourself back and ready to go and be ready? And again, you know, the pitch counts, the seeing, you know, live hitters, live pitching. You know, that's a huge advantage we have at the lab because we can do all that stuff in our facility, and we got a huge area in the back where we can do that with 3 or 4 guys at a time, and they can see the ball fly. They can get their pitch counts up. They can get their bullpens in. And you don't have to worry about what the weather is or, oh, my gosh, do I have to come from 6 to 8 at night? No, you don't, you know. And so I think that's a big part of it, and our guys will be ready. Our guys will be ready, and it's exciting to see and see their progress throughout the summer as well.
Man, you're right on. Speaking of that, you know, and we've already been talking about that a good bit is the advantage our guys have and the organization from the standpoint of, you know, we do have several teams in that age range. So the inter squads that we're going to be able to do, getting our guys the reps that they need, the live reps, the speed of the game reps that we're looking for, but being able to do it in a centralized location to where, you know, we can Gant and Aldra, you know, we can do the speed and agility. We can do the strength conditioning. Then they can go into their bullpens or their BP sessions, and then they can go into their practice, and then we can go into live inter-squad situations really without really leaving the facility at all. So that is a huge advantage, and we're going to be well prepared for it, you know, coming back as far as that's concerned. And that rings true for our 8U through 12U as well. You know, those guys have access to all this, and you know, human nature we want to jump back into it, but what we have to do is we really have to understand that this really is a small, you know, little time in a very big picture. So we're going to make sure that our guys are prepared, that we're doing the necessary things we need to do from an injury prevention standpoint and arm care standpoint to get them ready for a really good summer and fall headed up. So we're excited about that. Aaron, any more insight on, you know, the 15U, you know, 14U? I know our next podcast, we're planning on featuring Adam Wyndham, the head coach for 14U. We're going to be introducing him. Really looking forward to that. Him being the head coach at St. Stephen's High School, has a great baseball background, coaching background, and he's going to have some really good things to say there. But, you know, from the 15U, 13U standpoint, anything you want to add for the summer?
Well, yeah. Well, the experience part of it, is, everybody wants to jump back in and all that kind of stuff. But, that's why they have us and have this organization, is because we've been through that. We've played at a high level. We've coached at a high level, and we understand what your body needs and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, are we going to play all of our tournaments? Absolutely. But we've got to make sure we're ready for those tournaments as well. The 13U, I'm gonna go ahead and say, that the team I coached this fall was a 13-14 combo. I mean, the exciting part is I didn't know any of those guys coming in, and the exciting part is to see the growth that they made from September to some of those guys into February when we were working with them throughout the facility or in the facility. Not only in game scenario, but just the growth they've had in 5 to 6 months, man, has been incredible. And those guys are going to keep getting better. Yes. And then, we're fortunate enough to have two 13U teams. The one I'm coaching is a group that was together when they were a little bit younger, and they've kind of gotten back together. Very good ball players. It'll be exciting to coach those guys this summer. And then the 13U Kirk team. I mean, those guys got 5 or 6 arms right now that we're going to be very, very good for the middle school teams. So that team's going to be really good because it's pitching at most levels, but at this level as well. And then moving on to our 15U team, a lot of those guys are coming to the facility, so I've gotten a chance to know those guys better the last few months, and that team's got a chance to be really, really good. I mean, there's some really good individuals on that team, and heck, a lot of it is just to see what they started as their high school season. Some of those freshmen were playing varsity. Other freshmen were hitting in the middle of their order or pitching a lot. I mean, those guys got a chance, man. Good bodies. They got to get in the weight room. Obviously, that's strength wins in high school and college. But that's stuff that they'll get into, and I'm sure they'll be eager to get back to as this goes. But I'm looking forward to those guys and think our teams in general the next few years. We're young as an organization anyway, but the next few years, man, we're in a really good spot, and we're gonna have some guys that are gonna play at the next level, and a couple of them, have a chance to play at several different levels. So,
hey, I told to jut in. Obviously we've talked about the facility, and there's no doubt we've got the space to make all this happen and really have that minor league spring training feel when we get back into it. But I keep going back to the people in the organization. I know when I was able to come on back in late 2018, Grant was very adamant about having the right people around. I keep hearing that. It was cool you talking about watching those guys fall grow together and being with them in the facility. I had a fantastic chance to do that last year with my first full year. I had kind of like you had no idea a lot of the players, but very quickly in the winter, as guys would come in, we started to form relationships, not just the players, but their parents, and really fun to watch those guys grow throughout the summer as the 15U team last year. But back to people, you talking about a couple 13U teams, 15 and 16s can work together. I'm sure both 10U teams with Coach Vogel and Coach Burns will be inter-squadding when all this is over, and Coach Duckworth, Coach Denver. So having people who are familiar with each other, work well together, within the organization really adds another layer of benefits during all this. It's good to have good people around, no doubt.
Well, I want to add on to that, Cam. You guys are exactly right from that standpoint. And if you look at our coaches, all right, and the people that are a part of the organization, just think about it, 12U to 8U. Let's leave us out of the equation, okay, and Coach Wyndham and Coach Kirk right now. But let's talk about 12U, Brian Duckworth, the job that he's done with that team, all right. And then you talk about our 11U team with, Coach Yamber. Sorry, Coach. The amount of talent that's on that team, the level of coaching that's going on there, and preparing those guys. And then you go on down to the 10U team. Coach Vogel, head coach at Fred T. Ford High School, all right, has a very talented group. And then Coach Burns, a fantastic coach as well, all right, and they get to feed off each other there. And his guys have really developed over the past 3 or 4 months. And then, of course, you talk about the 9U team with four Rambert. I mean, and then go down to Coach Jenkins and Gid Moser at the 8U, two guys that, Jenkins has gotten it done, in many years of coaching, young guys. And then Coach Moser, he's played, basketball in college, has a collegiate background there. So we're talking about guys that are very, very capable and bring a ton of value to our guys at the lower levels. And then, the fact that we all get to collaborate and interact at a centralized location, sets the organization up very well, short-term and long-term.
Yeah, and just going back to that, you're talking about relationships, man. I mean, we opened our facility in the middle of January, and then trying to get all of our teams in there practicing 8U to 12U. And, I was doing most of that scheduling with those guys, and not one problem. Hey, man, I like this time and this time. If not, can I do this time? It doesn't matter to me. I just like to get in. And then when we were in there and we were at capacity 6 out of the 7 days, and those guys had to adjust and all that kind of stuff. Just talking about really good guys that know exactly what's going on within the program, the facility, and ultimately what we're trying to do. And that's give these guys a positive experience and get them to their next level, whatever that is, get the most out of them. And, you're talking about coaches within the organization, you can't find better guys to work with day in and day out, week in, week out than those guys. I'm talking about answering emails or text all of a sudden. I mean, they do it, man. They do it, and it's really easy to work with those guys. So that's been a pleasure, and that separates us just from a lot of other places or businesses in general, just with the guys we have and their willingness to do anything at any time, and that's what makes it special as a relationship.
That's what I love about it, man. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about Cam or those guys. And they all have the servant mindset. That's what's awesome about it. The main focus is the athlete. The main focus is the player. And that's what I really love about, everybody in the organization, from the time guys walk through the door. All right. And, they see there, going back to the weight room, in the cages, whatever level or capacity they're getting coached by people that really have a servant mindset and leadership, attribute about them. So that's what I love about it. I mean, it's just it's an environment that is and will always be about the athlete, bottom line. So, well, what else we got, guys? What else, on the horizon here? We got our, coaches clinic coming up. We're excited about that. Stay tuned for that. We don't know when we're going to roll that out, but, there's so much stuff going on. But, what else we got?
Before you leave the topic of the coaches, Grant, I think, a lot of times true character and one's true self is really revealed when things aren't going so great and adversity hits. And I think our coaches and our players, the whole organization, but man, our coaches have really stepped up to the plate during this. I mean, I've been on these virtual meetings with I think 3 different teams. Guys are finding ways to stay in contact with their players and their families and still reach out, still find ways to hold them accountable, to be a kind of a constant source for those guys. Because obviously it's tough on everybody, but I mean, you talk about guys hopping on the workouts. Coach Atkins with the 12U team was right there with Caden the other day, knocking that workout out with Ryan. I've seen guys sharing resources amongst themselves, amongst teams. It's really been cool to watch our coaches, our players, our families really kind of rally together during all this. And like I said, adversity sometimes shows true character, and I think everybody's proud of what's been shown during this. I know I am.
Well, you're right on, and we'll wrap this up here. But I'll say this as great job you guys have been doing, making sure we get the resources out to the guys. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to get back in the cages and start interacting again and start coaching. I do miss the guys, but in the meantime, we all recognize this is a tough situation, and we're going to do whatever we can to continue to bring value to the table for them. But again, it's about that time after a couple weeks here to get back after it. So
I agree. As good as this has been, as good as it's been for us, kind of to force us to think outside the box and reach out to guys in different ways and continue to be a source of value. I'm about ready to get boots back on the ground and get back in the cage and in the facility and get back to work. I know all of our guys are too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, next on the docket here is we're next on the lineup coming up. We got Coach Wyndham. All right, I know I mentioned that earlier. We're going to have Coach Kirk. And we're going to keep these podcasts, around 15, 20 minutes. We're going to have Ryan Gant, head strength and conditioning coach. We have Audrey Harrison that will be on, performance coach. And then we're really going to go outside the organization then. We're going to start bringing in guys from the outside to talk about recruiting. We're going to bring in, guys, college guys, maybe to talk about their program and just bring in different perspectives. So we're excited about this. You guys stay tuned. And you guys have anything else to say to wrap this up?
I just think the big perspectives on things. You can get so many different perspectives on it. Just not go out and hit a baseball or throw a baseball. There's a lot more that goes into it. So you have options, so you can get to your highest level that you're able to, and it gives you a lot of different perspectives from a lot of people that are highly qualified, that have been doing it for a long time, that know what's going on, that have been through your shoes. That know exactly what your ups and downs and heartaches and all that feel like, and that's why we're going to be such a good source in the upcoming weeks with these podcasts.
Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Everybody out there, you guys stay safe. God bless, and we'll see you next time.